Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatles channel. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this video. Hope you're all doing well. If you're seeing this channel for the first time, and it's not a welcome back, it's just a welcome. Welcome to my channel. Everyone is welcome here. Even Supertramp fans. Now in today's video I'm going to be doing part 3 of my gifted record collections. Now if you've been following the channel over the last few weeks, you'll know that I was very lucky to be gifted not one but 2 entire record collections from my sister and brother-in-law, who came down with their boxes of records and said, we don't really want these anymore, so you keep what you want and get rid of the ones that you don't want. And so I've done 2 videos so far showing what is in the record collection. This is the 3rd and final part of that collection. Now this is really a sort of a best of the rest. I will admit that I've taken out of the collection sort of things that I'm not really interested in. I'm not going to be showing them in this video, otherwise this will go on for 4 or 5 videos. So this is the final part. If you have missed the first 2 parts and you want to watch them, no problem. There'll be an end card at the end of this video. You can just click on it and watch it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in order. It's just me showing a bunch of records. Okay, so shall we get on with it? So the first one, the song remains the same, a live double album, Led Zeppelin from 1979, an album that I've never owned. I have seen the film and I have to say it is one of the most boring films, rock films I've ever watched. Now, look, there is absolutely no doubt whatsoever that Led Zeppelin are an extremely talented bunch of musicians, but some of these songs are just too long for me. This is the track listing there. Every single track is a classic Led Zeppelin track. Just read them out for you. So side 1 is Rock and Roll, Celebration Day, song remains the same, Rain Song. Side 2 is Dazed and Confused, just one track. It is 26 minutes long, which is way too long, as brilliant as that track is. And you know, if Led Zeppelin were a going concern now, if they were a band on the road now and John Bonham was still alive, you know, there is no way they would get from the start of those 26 minutes to the end on Dazed and Confused without needing a wee. And I'm the same. Side 3 is No Quarter, Stairway to Heaven. Side 4, Moby Dick and Whole Lot of Love. This is the gatefold to the album, and very nice it is too. It's got a couple of pages to it as well. That is the gatefold. Both records are the same, so I'll just show you one, and it's on the Swan Song label, and that is Led Zeppelin's own label, of course, and it looks in very nice condition at all. You know, this is a keeper for me, and pretty much completes my Led Zeppelin collection now on vinyl. The only one I don't have is Houses of the Holy. Okay, next up, this one, Rainbow. This is called Down to Earth from 1979. I think everyone remembers Rainbow. Oh yes, I remember Rainbow. Do you remember Rainbow with Jeffrey and George and Zippy? And that joke is probably just aimed at people who are my age or slightly younger from the UK. Everyone else, that'll be completely go over the top of your head. But if you want to Google it, just Google Kids Program Rainbow 70s and you'll know what I'm doing there. So I don't own any Rainbow albums until now. That is the track listing. This has got 2 hit singles on it, All Night Long and Since You've Been Gone. And you know, Rainbow, a super group, I guess, if you like. Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple on lead guitar, Cozy Powell on drums, you've got Graham Bonnet on vocals, Roger Glover on bass from Deep Purple, and I'm pretty glad to have this album. So I don't own any Rainbow albums, but I'll be interested to hear this one. Obviously do know the 2 hit singles. the record has got this nice custom label on side 1 and on side 2, sort of a standard sort of late 70s Polydor label. So that is Down to Earth by Rainbow from 1979. Glad to have that. That is a keeper. The next one, 40 #1 hits, one of these K-Tel compilations. We've had a couple of those come up in the first two videos. This is a real sort of hodgepodge of records that goes sort of throughout the 70s, but also a few 60s hits in there as well. So it kind of goes all over the place. His main staple is glam rock of the 70s. We've got, you know, there's Gary Glitter, Alvin Stardust, Shawaddy Waddy, Mud, Susie Quattro have all got songs on here. A few odd bits and pieces like Tie Yellow Ribbon by Tony Orlando and Dawn, Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks. You've got David Cassidy, Daydreamer, a couple of 60s ones. I'm a Believer by the Monkees, Silence is Golden, the Tremolos, Needles and Pins, The Searchers. So it sort of goes all over the place. Side 2 ends with Don't Give Up on Us Baby by David Soul. That is the this is the gatefold for it, which is quite dramatic. And you know, these K-Tel albums, you know, that came out in the 70s were very, very cheap, and you got, you know, you're good to buy. You could get a lot of music for not a lot of money. The problem with these records is you know, they've crammed 10 tracks on each side, which means that it's not going to sound very good, probably. But I'm not going to throw it away. Very, very thin vinyl, you can probably hear that, but again, it looks really good. Nick, I'm gonna keep this one as well. The next one out, Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf, and a record that's probably in most people's collection. I know this this household has this on vinyl and CD. I am not a fan of Bat Out of Hell. I'm probably one of those 3 people that don't really like Bat Out of Hell, but Mrs. Beatles Tone absolutely loves it. She knows every word to every song on this album. Now, I do remember watching Meatloaf, their iconic performance on the Old Grey Whistle Test in 1977, I think it was, and lots of people went out and bought the album on the strength of that. Let's face it, absolutely astonishing performance. That is the vinyl on the Epic label. But so Mrs. Beatles Tone absolutely loves this album. Personally, I'm not even sure that I've ever made it to the end of side 2. It's just not really my thing. But there you go. Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. Okay, this next one's an interesting one. Jerry Rafferty, City to City. I think this is from 1978. This is the one that has Baker Street on it. And it's not an album that I've ever owned, although I did buy the single Baker Street. Jerry Rafferty, a former member of Steelers Will, who had that hit Stuck in the Middle with You, which is the staple fodder of every cover band in the UK still. But I'm interested to hear this album because, you know, Baker Street is a phenomenal song, and I want to hear the rest of this album. So very pleased to have this one. This is City to City by Jerry Rafferty. Okay, next up we've got 2 albums by the Eurythmics. Don't really own any Eurythmics albums. I have got a CD, a greatest hits, but don't have any of their standard albums. So this one is from 1985. This is called Be Yourself Tonight. It's got a couple of hit singles on it. There Must Be An Angel, Playing With My Heart. Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves. It's Alright, Baby's Coming Back. All on this one. Never heard the album. but I'm going to give this one a go. I'm thinking I'm probably not going to be going to like this very much, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. That is that album, Be Yourself Tonight. This is the other one here. What's this one called? This one is called Revenge. This is the follow-up album from 1986. This has got well, there's the track listing there, and that's got a couple of hit singles on it. Thorn on My Side. I think that's the only one, actually. I think that's the only one that's a hit single on that one. It's got the lyrics with it. This is a German pressing. Now, we did... someone did ask why there were so many German pressings, and my brother-in-law did answer that in the comments. It was because his dad was in the army, so they were kind of, you know, moved around from pillar to post, so spent a lot of time in Germany. That's why there's quite a lot of German pressings in these collections. So those two records, you know, I'm going to give them a go. We do have a couple of Annie Lennox solo albums, but don't have any Eurythmics albums, so we'll give those a go. Okay, the next one is Prog City, Arizona. It's the third Rush album to be in this collection. This one is called A Farewell to Kings. Again, a very confusing cover, which I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. This fella here, who I think is the bloke from the band, is I think he's a puppet. Because he's got kind of strings hanging there, and on the back there's these sort of handles and stuff. That is the track listing. This album is from 1977, so it's fairly early Rush. It's got a couple of really long songs on it. Xanadu, 11 minutes and 6 seconds, and a song called Cygnus 10 -1, whatever that means, and that clocks in at 10 minutes and 27 seconds. The rest of the songs are normal. So I might hold out a little bit of hope for this one. I might like this one a little bit. Do tell me what you think of this Rush album. As I say, it's not my thing. It doesn't come with a proper sort of inner sleeve. It's a you know, an advertising one, but some great albums advertised on here. Blue Moves by Elton John, the Status Quo Live album, which was also part of this collection. Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak, fantastic album. Anyway, let's have a look at the record on the Mercury label. So it's from 1977. You know, one of the takeaways, you know, in the comments of the first two videos was people saying, you know, give Rush a go. So I will, but I just don't see it being my thing. Anyway, that is Farewell to Kings by Rush. The next album, Genesis, from 1983, self-titled album. We do actually own this album, and I quite like it. This is sort of Genesis, you know, when they were kind of on the cusp of, you know, being very, very mainstream band and prog no longer. This has got Mama on it, and That's All. Both really great tracks that I like. It's also got Second Home by the Sea on it as well. The inner sleeve has got the lyrics. Oh, it has got that. It's got that dreadful Illegal Alien where Phil Collins sings in a cod West Indian accent. Terrible stuff. But you know, we'd say I do have this album already, so you know, this is one of those ones where you know, I'm not gonna I'm gonna play it and see if it's in better nick than the one that I've got, and I'll keep the best one. Although this one does have a I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a sort of sticker mark, you know, price sticker mark on it. Really annoying. Why did they do that in places in the UK? Our Price records were the worst culprits for this, of sticking price labels on the actual record sleeve and not on the plastic covers that they were in. Really, really annoying. Next one, U2 do own this album as well. This is a really good album, actually. An early U2 album. It's got it's got Sunday Bloody Sunday and New Year's Day on it, and most bands would kill for a couple of songs like that on the same album. I say, but we do have this album. It has got the lyrics on down the side there. Let's have a look at the record. Again, looks in lovely condition. So that'll be another one where I will play it and I'll keep the one that's in the best nick. And of course, Blondie, Parallel Lines, another album that every household, I would imagine, people at my age probably own this album. Chock-a-block with hit singles, Hanging on the Telephone, Picture This, Sunday Girl, Heart of Glass, all hit singles from this album. But there are other tracks on this album that make this feel like a greatest hits album, because although they weren't hit singles, you kind of know them. They got a lot of radio play, things like One Way or Another, I Know But I Don't Know, I'm Gonna Love You Too. I'm Gonna Love You Too as well. An absolutely fantastic album, and it also has my favourite track from this album, Fade Away and Radiate, which was the B-side of Picture This, the single Picture This. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You get the lyrics, and it's on the Chrysalis label. And it looks in absolutely tip-top condition. I'm not sure that mine is in such good condition as this, because I absolutely played it to death when it came out in 1978. Heavens above. The Pet Shop Boys. The Pet Shop Boys. That's me after listening to this record. Pet Shop Boys. This is called Absolutely. From 1987. I can't stand the Pet Shop Boys. I mean, I just don't like music where the only instrument being used are keyboards. Basically, I don't like their voices. I just don't like the album. Well, I'm going to say I don't like the album. I've never heard the album. It's the one that's got It's a Sin on it. I don't like that song. That was the big hit from this album. That is the inner sleeve. This is the track listing. If you want to pause it and read the tracks. I mean, one of the tracks is called What Have I Done to Deserve This? Which is quite appropriate, really. So this is not going to be my thing. I know that this is not going to be my thing, but I'm kind of tempted to listen to it just in case I'm under the wrong impression about the Pet Shop Boys. But I just don't think that I am going to like that album. The next album I absolutely love. It is Kate Bush, The Kick Inside. Kate Bush's debut from 1978. Just absolutely phenomenal album. I'm not sure that she ever bettered this album. I mean, it's got Wuthering Heights on it. It's got The Man with a Child in His Eyes on it. It's got Them Heavy People on it. The song about Dave Gilmour. Just every single track absolutely superb. A stunning album. That just blew everyone away when they first heard this in 1978. I became a big fan of Kate Bush. I own everything that she has ever done, and I own several copies of The Kick Inside. various reissues and CDs and box sets and all the rest of it. You know, absolutely superb album, The Kick Inside. Next one, Robert Plant. This is called Pictures at 11. This is from 1982. Do I know any of the songs on this? I don't know that I do. I don't know that I do. That is the track listing of it. Robert Plant solo album. Don't own this at all. Pictures at 11. Definitely give this one a go. This is on Swan Song, Led Zeppelin's label. So definitely give that one a go. Now this next one, I am really happy about getting this. This is Alchemy. This is Dire Straits' live album. Now, if you watched the video that I'd made back in the summer, did it in the garden. I bought this from my local record store second hand, and it wasn't really in very good shape at all, because you know a lot of surface noise, and you know a lot of Dire Straits music is quite quiet and soft and gentle, and obviously when there is not a lot going on the record, you hear the surface noise a lot, and it's very distracting, very annoying. And so I am absolutely delighted that this record is included in this collection. That is the gatefold. This, I believe, was recorded at the Hammersmith Odeon, I think, in London, if I remember rightly. Let's have a look at one of the records. They are both the same. You know, that looks like it is in tip-top condition, and this looks like it will usurp my current copy of Alchemy. I'm very happy to have that. That is the track listing of this double live album. As I say, very happy to get that. It's part of this collection. This is an album that I have loved. I bought this album when it came out. I do own this both on vinyl and CD. The Cars debut album, again, an album I don't think that they ever bettered. Just brilliant album from start to finish. Not one bad track on it. You know, it's got My Best Friend's Girl on it, just what I needed. I'm in touch with your world, don't you stop. And then side 2, where all the tracks sort of segue into each other. You're All I've Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, Moving in Stereo, all mixed up. Just fabulous album. The debut album from the Cars from 1978. That is the inner sleeve. And again, this is going to be one of these albums that I will play to see if it's in better nick than the one that I've got, and I expect that it probably is, because again, as I say, this is a superb album, and I absolutely hammered it to death when it first came out in 1978. That is the Cars debut, called The Cars. Okay, we're on the home run now, you'll be glad to hear. Next one, double live album, Simple Minds live. Don't own this, don't own anything by the Simple Minds. Never really been a big fan of the Simple Minds, but this is one that I am willing to give a go. I want to hear this album very much. This is called In the City of Light, a double live album, as I say. And I will definitely be giving that one a go. This is the gatefold sleeve for it. Very nice it is too. And this is the track listing. A bunch of tracks that I'm not really that familiar with. You know, I know their hits, but I don't really know any of their album tracks at all. So Simple Minds live, we'll give that one a go. The next one, the second Black Sabbath album to be in this collection. This one's called Heaven and Hell. I think this is the follow-up to the one that I showed in the previous video, which was called Mob Rules. You know, Black Sabbath, I've never really owned any. Well, I've never owned any Black Sabbath albums. They've always been just that little bit too heavy for me. But I will give this one a go. This is not from the Ozzy Osbourne era. This is the Ronnie James Dio era on the Vertigo label. That is Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. The next one, AC/DC, Back in Black, a very familiar album to most people, but again, not one that I've ever owned. So interesting to hear this one. This is the inner sleeve of it. It's on the Atlantic label. Again, looks in very, very good nick. So I will be listening to that one, trying to get into that. Another Genesis album, Duke. I think this is from 1980. That's the track listing there. This one, Behind the Lines, which is a song that Phil Collins did on his first solo album. It's got Misunderstanding on it, which I like. Turn It On again is on this album. Again, this is an album that I do actually own. So this will be another one to see whether this one is in better nick than the one that I've got. The Charisma label, as Genesis albums mostly were. And so that's that one. Then this one. This album here, the best cream of Eric Clapton. I did have this on CD when it came out. Never had it on vinyl. This is a kind of a career retrospective. It's got Layla on it, Derek and Dominoes. Then it's got a bunch of songs by Cream. I Feel Free, Sunshine of Your Love, Strange Brew, White Room, Cocaine. Then it goes on to Eric Clapton's solo career. Cocaine, I Shot the Sheriff, Behind the Mask, Forever Man, Lay Down Sally, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Wonderful Tonight, Let It Grow, Promises, I've Got Rock and Roll Heart. So I do have this on CD, don't have it on vinyl. Glad to have it on vinyl. I'm not a massive fan of Eric Clapton, I have to say. I think he's a bit of a cock most of the time, but he has made some good music, I have to admit. And there you have it. And then the final album, Roxy Music, a similar thing to the Eric Clapton. This is a sort of a Brian Ferry career retrospective. It kind of covers Roxy Music and his solo career as well. Lots of familiar music on this track. Again, I had this on CDs. One of the first CDs that I bought, and my house got burgled in the early 90s. In the late 80s, and it went, and it was one of these ones that I never replaced. But it is a good album for sure. I'll go through the tracks in a minute. It's a double album. So this is the track listing for it. It's got a nice gatefold as well. And I'll just go through the tracks. So side one, Virginia Plain, hard. So they mix up the solo and the Roxy Music song. So side one, Virginia Plain, Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, Pajama Rama, Do the Strand, These Foolish Things. Side two, Street Life, Roxy Music, Let's Stick Together, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, Love is the Drug, Roxy Music, Sign of the Times, Dance Away, Roxy Music, Angel Eyes, Oh Yeah, Over You, Same Old Scene. Side four, In the Midnight Hour, More Than This, Avalon, Slave to Love, and the cover of John Lennon's Jealous Guy, which I never really liked that cover. But really glad to have that. That is the sort of the best of Brian Ferry and Roxy music, and that is it. That is everything. Okay, so that is it. I've been very lucky to have been gifted these two record collections. I'm very grateful to my sister and brother-in-law for donating those to my collections. I suppose it's probably boosted my record collection by about 100 albums, I would say, roughly. So very, very lucky and very happy to have that. You guys, please tell me what you think about the records that I've shown in this video, and I hope you've enjoyed this series of me showing these gifted record collections. Thanks very much for watching. Do tell me what you think. As you know, I read all your comments. I will respond back to your comments as well, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.